Good morning, dear hearts. We're at lesson 163. There is no death. The Son of God is free. Death is a thought. That's the first line that this lesson starts with. Death is a thought, and it takes on many forms, and we're going to get there in a minute. But what is a thought? The ego is a thought. It's not real. Death is a thought. It is not real. But what happens when there is a thought that we continue to think over and over again, we've now turned a thought into a belief. So death has actually become a belief. And death is a belief that we are certain, we're sure is real. Because as we look around us, we have taken that belief and have reinforced it by seeing everything around us must die, including ourselves. But now this lesson starts off with that death is a thought that takes on many forms, often unrecognized. It may appear as sadness, fear, anxiety, or doubt, as anger, faithlessness, and lack of trust, concern for bodies, we know that, envy, and all forms in which the wish to be as you are not may come to tempt you. The Course tells us in the text that whenever we are not totally and completely joyous, that it's because we have acted as with a lack of love to one of God's creations, and that would be us. Whenever I am reacting to myself with a lack of love, I am very likely going to experience fear, anxiety, sadness, doubt, all of these things in this litany that I've just read. And that is because in choosing to act towards myself in a joyless manner, I am actually killing myself. I have chosen a little death over a joyful life. Now, the lesson goes on to tell us that, death seems to be the one sure thing. In this world, we're told that there's only two things that are ever sure. One is death and one is taxes. Well, we've actually learned that taxes are not necessarily true and sure, because we see in the news all kinds of people who never pay taxes, even if they have great wealth. So taxes aren't necessarily true. And now neither is death. And why is death not true and real? Because whatever God has given life, He has given eternal life. And the only way that death is real is because I have chosen to believe in death and the ego rather than to believe in the everlasting life that God has given all of His creations. Death is not real. The Son of God is free from sadness, free from fear, anxiety, free from everything that is not the will of God. Within the lesson, it says that every time that something dies, okay, and then the ego puts up an epitaph, we put up a tombstone, and on this tombstone, basically, it says, "Here lies a witness, God is dead." And here it is, that we cannot believe that either all things die or that all things are alive. There's no compromise. The lesson says, either all things die or else they live and cannot die. No compromise is possible. So I either get to know and believe that whatever God has created lives and lives forever, or I turn away from that and believe that death is possible. There is no death. God did not make death. God only creates, and whatever God creates is eternal. So death was made by the ego, by an egoic mind and thought, in order to control those who think it. Paragraph 7 is so magnificent. And this is really almost comical. Kind of think of it as sort of a tongue-in-cheek thing that says, the idea of the death of God is so preposterous that even the insane have difficulty in believing it, for it implies that God was once alive and somehow perished, killed, apparently, by those who did not want him to survive. Their stronger will could triumph over his, and so eternal life gave way to death, and with the Father died the Son as well. This is a preposterous scenario that has been given here, that it is not true. There is no death. We are free. We are eternal. We are the extension from the mind of God that lives and lives forever. And that's it. The final paragraph is a prayer. It is lovely, and I would suggest you read it. And that's it for today. Because I think you'll have more meaning if you read the prayer yourself. Please like, please share, please subscribe, please comment, and please be here tomorrow. Namaste.